My dear friends, have you ever had a day where you woke up ready to conquer the world, and then one small setback, one comment, one failure just sucked the life out of you? You start questioning everything. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. But here's the truth: motivation doesn't die. We just stop feeding it. It's like fire. It burns bright only when you keep adding wood. And today I'll show you how to keep that fire alive, no matter how cold life gets. The first key point is to remember why you started. Every great journey begins with a spark, a moment when something inside you whispered, "This is it. This is what I was meant to do." Maybe it was a vision that kept you awake at night, or a silent promise you made to yourself when no one was watching. But as time goes on, life piles up. Responsibilities, failures, and distractions blur that original fire. You start doing things mechanically, showing up, working hard, but the soul of your dream starts fading. The truth is, when your why becomes distant, even the smallest challenge feels impossible. But when your why is alive, it gives meaning to your pain, direction to your steps, and power to your perseverance. Think about it. Why did you begin this journey in the first place? Was it to build a better life for your family? To rise above your circumstances? To prove to yourself that you are capable of more than what others saw in you? Whatever it was, that reason is not just motivation, it's identity. It's the anchor that keeps you steady when everything else shakes. Too often we chase success without reconnecting to the emotional heartbeat behind it. We forget that dreams aren't fueled by results, they're fueled by purpose. Your why is not found in numbers or milestones. It's found in the tears, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the things that matter when nothing else does. When you forget your why, life becomes survival. You start moving but stop feeling. You get busy but not fulfilled. And slowly, passion turns into exhaustion. That's why you must revisit your reason often, daily if you can. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Remind yourself what's truly at stake. Because when you reconnect to that original fire, your struggles stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like preparation. You realize that every obstacle isn't pushing you away from your dream, it's pushing you deeper into it. Your why transforms your setbacks into steps and your pain into purpose. There will be moments when you question everything, when you'll ask yourself if it's even worth it. In those moments, you need to look beyond what you see and remember what you felt when you started. That moment of clarity, that rush of certainty, that voice inside that said, "This matters." Go back there, because that's not just memory. That's your soul reminding you of your truth. When you stand in alignment with your reason, no storm can shake you. You can bend but not break, stumble but not stop. Your why becomes the armor that protects you from doubt and fear. The most successful people in the world aren't necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They're the ones who never lost touch with their purpose. They kept their eyes on the bigger picture when everyone else got distracted by the noise. They didn't chase motivation, they chased meaning. And meaning will carry you through seasons where motivation cannot. When you know why you started, even the hardest days make sense. You may not enjoy every step, but you'll endure it. Because you know what you're walking toward. So take a moment today. Pause everything. Forget the deadlines, the expectations, the pressure. Ask yourself, why did I begin? And when that answer comes, when you feel that small flame reignite, guard it like it's sacred. Because it is. That's the energy that will push you when no one claps for you, the strength that will lift you when you fall, and the reminder that your dream was never random. It was chosen for you. And when you live from that truth, you don't just stay motivated, you become unstoppable. The second key point is to stop waiting to feel motivated. Most people sit around waiting for the perfect moment, the day they wake up full of energy, passion, and unstoppable drive. But that day rarely comes. Motivation isn't a mood, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows only when you use it, not when you wait for it to appear. The truth is, there will be days when you won't feel like doing anything. You'll feel tired, uninspired, maybe even defeated. But that's when real growth begins. In the moments when you act despite the lack of motivation. Because the difference between those who succeed and those who give up isn't that one group feels more inspired. It's that one group moves anyway. You see, motivation follows action, not the other way around. When you take a step forward, even a small one, your brain starts to build momentum. You begin to see progress, and progress fuels confidence. But when you wait for motivation before moving, you stay stuck. You start overthinking, doubting, delaying, and before you know it, days turn into months. The greatest achievers in history weren't guided by endless excitement. They were guided by discipline. They did what needed to be done, whether they felt like it or not. They understood that feelings are temporary, but consistency is transformational. You can't control how you feel every day, but you can control what you do with those feelings. Imagine this: a professional athlete doesn't skip training because they don't feel motivated. A parent doesn't stop showing up for their child because they feel tired. They act because commitment comes before comfort. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the weather to be perfect before going on a journey. You'll never leave home. But when you learn to act in the rain, in the wind, through the storms, you realize something powerful. The storm was never the enemy, your hesitation was. Every action you take despite the resistance becomes a victory over your own mind. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. The spark can ignite your start, but it can't carry you to the finish. There will be moments when excitement fades, when the applause stops, when the results take longer than expected. That's when you must rely on structure, not emotion. Have a routine so strong that your feelings don't get to vote. When you rely solely on motivation, you'll work only when you're inspired. But when you rely on discipline, you'll work even when you're exhausted. And that's where breakthroughs happen. Because greatness isn't born from bursts of motivation, it's built from relentless consistency. And here's something few people talk about. Sometimes doing the work without motivation creates deeper meaning than doing it with excitement. When you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that your goals matter more than your moods. That's when you begin to respect yourself on a whole new level. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, not someone who waits for permission from their emotions. Every time you act without motivation, you strengthen your identity as someone unstoppable. You begin to embody the mindset that no obstacle can dictate your pace. That inner shift is where true confidence comes from. So the next time you don't feel motivated, don't wait. Start small, do one task. Take one step, because movement creates momentum, and momentum attracts motivation. The hardest part is always the first 5 minutes. Once you begin, energy follows. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes part of your rhythm. Don't let your feelings decide your future. Motivation is fleeting, but commitment is forever. When you choose to act even when your heart says, "Not today," you separate yourself from the ordinary. You stop chasing motivation and start becoming the kind of person who doesn't need it. The third key point is to protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Your energy is the foundation of everything you create, everything you give, and everything you become. Yet most people spend it carelessly, giving it away to arguments, negativity, gossip, and distractions that drain them. You can't pour from an empty cup, but so many try. They wake up exhausted, not because of what they did physically, but because of what they entertain mentally. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's survival. You cannot reach your potential if your focus is constantly scattered among people and situations that don't deserve your peace. Learn to identify what fuels you and what empties you, and guard that boundary with strength and grace. When you walk into a room, you can feel the difference between someone who radiates energy and someone who drains it. That's the unseen exchange happening every day. The invisible flow of energy that shapes your mood, decisions, and motivation. Some people inspire you to aim higher, to think clearer, to breathe easier. Others make your chest heavy just by being near. You owe it to your future to recognize the difference. Protecting your energy doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means becoming conscious of who gets access to your emotional space. Your peace is sacred territory. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table just because they ask for it. It's also about what you consume, not just who you're around. Every scroll on your phone, every piece of content you absorb, every conversation you entertain, it all feeds or depletes your spirit. You can't watch chaos all day and expect calm inside. You can't surround yourself with complaints and expect gratitude to grow. The things you repeatedly expose yourself to shape your emotional rhythm. That's why protecting your energy also means curating your mental diet. Be intentional about what you feed your mind. Listen to voices that remind you of your strength. Read words that align with your purpose, and unplug from anything that keeps you stuck in cycles of comparison or self-doubt. Sometimes protecting your energy means saying no, a word that many people struggle to use because they equate it with rejection or guilt. But no is not a wall, it's a filter. Every no you give to something meaningless is a yes to something important. If you say yes to everyone, you slowly disappear from your own life. There's power in being selective, not arrogant, not cold, but aware. You are responsible for the atmosphere you live in. If you keep tolerating energy that weakens you, you're teaching the world how to treat you. Boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges to balance. And balance keeps your motivation alive. There will always be people who misunderstand your silence, your distance, or your priorities. Let them. You don't owe explanations for protecting your peace. Some people thrive in chaos and will resent your calm because it mirrors their disorder. But remember this, peace is a language of strength. When you protect your energy, you stop reacting to every noise around you. You choose when to engage and when to walk away. You stop fighting battles that aren't yours to fight. That's not indifference, that's wisdom. Protecting your energy means choosing purpose over reaction, clarity over confusion, and long-term focus over short-term drama. And the most powerful truth is this: when your energy is protected, your motivation becomes effortless. You wake up lighter, think clearer, move faster. Your mind becomes a space where inspiration can breathe. You stop running on fumes and start operating from overflow. Protecting your energy is not about isolation, it's about alignment. It's about creating a life that amplifies what strengthens you and silences what doesn't. Because when you learn to guard your energy, you stop surviving the day and start owning it. The fourth key point is to focus on progress, not perfection. Perfection is a silent killer of dreams. It's the illusion that convinces you to wait until you have it all figured out, until everything is flawless, until there's zero chance of failure, but that day never comes. Perfection is a moving target. The more you chase it, the further it gets. Progress, on the other hand, is real. It's measurable, attainable, and deeply human. It's what builds momentum and confidence. Every small step forward, no matter how messy or uncertain, is a victory. The truth is, you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be consistent enough to keep moving, because progress is where mastery is born, and perfection is where growth goes to die. So many people delay their dreams, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect feeling. But perfection is a mask for fear. It's a disguise for the belief that I'm not ready yet. You become trapped in endless preparation, tweaking, hesitating, doubting. Meanwhile, time keeps moving. The people who make real impact in life are not the ones who start perfectly. They're the ones who start imperfectly but refuse to stop. Every master was once a beginner, fumbling, unsure, and scared. What made them great wasn't a flawless start. It was their willingness to look foolish while learning. If you wait until you're ready, you'll wait forever. Progress rewards courage, not perfection. When you shift your focus from perfection to progress, you begin to see setbacks differently. Failure no longer feels final, it becomes feedback. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every delay a direction. Progress is forgiving, it allows room for growth. But perfection is cruel. It demands flawlessness and offers no compassion when you fall short. The most successful people in every field didn't rise because they never failed. They rose because they refused to let failure define them. They learned, adjusted, evolved. Progress teaches resilience, the strength to continue despite the cracks. Because in those cracks, that's where light gets in. That's where wisdom begins to grow. There's something deeply freeing about choosing progress. It allows you to celebrate small wins, to notice the beauty in becoming. You start realizing that growth isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, gradual, invisible at first. It's waking up one day and realizing you're not who you were 6 months ago. You think clearer, act wiser, and feel stronger, not because you arrived at perfection, but because you never stopped moving. Celebrate those micro victories. That one extra rep at the gym, that one more page read, that one more. The fifth key point is to feed your mind before the world does. The moment you wake up, your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant first will shape the rest of your day. Yet most people start their mornings by handing over that power to the world. They wake up and scroll through chaos, absorb other people's opinions, or drown themselves in noise before they've even heard their own thoughts. That's like opening your front door and inviting confusion to have breakfast with you. The truth is, your morning mindset becomes your compass. If you let negativity lead, your day will follow. But if you take charge of your mental diet, if you feed your mind something that uplifts, challenges, and strengthens you, you set the tone for everything that follows. Every morning, the world is waiting to program you. It will tell you what to fear, what to envy, what to chase. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day reacting to what the world throws at you instead of creating what you want. That's why the first hour of your day matters so much. It's not about rigid routines or perfection. It's about ownership. You decide what enters your mind before the world does. Read something empowering, pray, meditate, journal, or simply sit in silence. Protect that sacred space before you plug into the noise, because what you allow in that first hour becomes the lens through which you see the rest of your day. Your mind is the control center of your life. Whatever dominates it will eventually define it. If you fill it with fear, you'll live cautiously. If you fill it with gratitude, you'll live abundantly. The thoughts you feed your mind are not harmless. They create patterns, habits, and eventually identity. Feeding your mind doesn't mean drowning in positivity. It means choosing intention over reaction. It's about consciously deciding what deserves space in your head. Just like your body needs healthy food to perform, your mind needs nourishing thoughts to function. You wouldn't eat junk food all day and expect strength. So why consume mental junk and expect peace? Most people underestimate how powerful a few moments of stillness can be. Before emails, before notifications, before responsibilities, take a moment to listen to yourself. Because if you don't start your day with purpose, someone else will assign one to you. This world is loud, and the louder it gets, the easier it becomes to lose your inner voice. But that voice is your truth, your intuition, your direction. When you feed your mind with calm, clarity, and perspective, you strengthen that voice. It becomes your inner compass, guiding you when everything outside feels uncertain. The strongest people are not those who react fast. They are the ones who respond from stillness. The kind of content you consume also shapes your emotional state. Watch chaos and you'll feel anxious. Listen to wisdom and you'll feel grounded. Your mind absorbs energy like a sponge, even when you're not paying attention. That's why you must be deliberate about what you watch, read, and hear. Start your mornings with something that expands you, not something that shrinks you. Read a page of a book that challenges your thinking. Listen to a voice that reminds you of who you are capable of becoming. Feed your mind ideas that align with the person you want to be, not the distractions that pull you away from it. And remember, the way you start your morning often mirrors the way you live your life. If you begin your day reacting to chaos, you'll spend it putting out fires. But if you begin it with clarity and strength, you'll move with direction. Feeding your mind before the world does isn't a habit. It's a declaration that you are in charge of your state, your focus, and your destiny. The world will always be loud, but when you start your day intentionally, the noise loses its power. Because the mind that is fed with purpose doesn't get distracted by noise. It becomes the source of calm within it. The sixth key point is to turn pain into purpose. Every single one of us has walked through something that tried to break us. A disappointment, a betrayal, a failure, a loss. Pain is universal, but what you do with it determines who you become. Some people let it define them, others let it refine them. Pain is not there to destroy you, it's there to reveal you. It uncovers your strength, your resilience, your capacity to rise. The moments that hurt you the most often shape you the most, but only if you allow them to. Because pain, when left unprocessed, becomes poison, but when transformed, it becomes power. You can't escape struggle, but you can choose what it teaches you. The people who seem the strongest aren't the ones who've avoided pain. They're the ones who faced it, embraced it, and used it as fuel. When life hit them hardest, they asked, "What is this trying to teach me?" Instead of "Why me?" That shift changes everything. Every scar carries a story, not of defeat, but of survival. When you stop seeing your pain as punishment and start viewing it as preparation, you begin to understand that your challenges are building the muscle your future requires. Diamonds are created under pressure, and so are strong people. You are not fragile because you've been hurt, you are forged. Turning pain into purpose means refusing to waste your suffering. If you went through something, let it mean something. Let it push you to grow, to help, to lead, to create change. Some of the world's most impactful leaders didn't rise because life was easy for them. They rose because they turned their wounds into wisdom. They decided that if they had to endure pain, it wouldn't be in vain. Your darkest moments can become your greatest teachers if you lean in and listen. Ask yourself, what strength did this pain awaken in me? And how can I use this to serve others? That's how pain transforms. When it stops being about what happened to you and becomes about what you do with it. Pain also brings clarity. It strips away illusions and forces you to confront what truly matters. You learn who your real friends are, what truly fulfills you, and what no longer deserves your energy. Pain simplifies your life. It burns away the unnecessary. And though it feels unbearable while it's happening, there comes a moment when you realize that the version of you that existed before the pain couldn't have handled where you're going next. Pain is the universe's way of pruning you, of preparing you for a greater version of yourself. The breaking wasn't meant to end you, it was meant to expand you. There's also a quiet power in accepting that pain will visit again. Life will test you repeatedly, not to punish you, but to remind you that growth is ongoing. Every new level comes with new discomfort. But when you've learned to convert pain into purpose, you stop fearing it. You stop running from the lessons life sends your way. You begin to see pain as an ally, a signal that something within you is evolving. It's not the end of your story. It's a new chapter being written in your strength. You become unshakable, not because you avoid pain, but because you understand its value. And the beauty of transforming pain into purpose is that it gives meaning to the moments that once broke you. When you use your experience to inspire others, to lift someone who's still in the darkness you escaped, your pain finds its purpose. The very thing that once made you question your worth becomes the reason you stand tall. You start to see that the fire you walked through wasn't meant to burn you. It was meant to build you. And once you learn to draw strength from your scars, you realize that pain never really defeated you. It only revealed who you were meant to become all along. The seventh key point is to keep your vision bigger than your circumstances. Life will always present moments that make you question everything. Moments when nothing seems to go right, when progress feels invisible, when the dream you once believed in starts to feel impossible. In those moments, what keeps you alive isn't motivation, it's vision. Vision is what allows you to see beyond what's in front of you. It's the picture in your mind that refuses to fade even when your reality doesn't match it yet. When you hold that vision tight, when you see it so clearly that you can feel it, your circumstances lose their control over you. You stop reacting to what you see and start responding to what you believe. That's the power of a clear vision. It pulls you forward when everything else pushes you back. Circumstances are temporary, but vision is eternal. Every challenge, every setback, every delay, they're all part of the process that shapes you into the kind of person who can handle the dream you're chasing. When people lose motivation, It's not because the goal disappeared, it's because they stopped seeing it. Vision fades when you allow the noise of life to blur it. That's why you must revisit it often. Not just when things go right, but especially when they go wrong. Write it down, visualize it, speak it into existence. The stronger your vision becomes, the weaker your doubts get. When you can see your destination clearly, you stop being intimidated by the distance between where you are and where you're going. Keeping your vision bigger than your circumstances means refusing to let temporary pain make permanent decisions. Life will test your patience and your belief. It will tempt you to settle for less just because the journey feels longer than expected. But if your vision is strong enough, you won't bend to frustration. You'll remind yourself that the vision was planted in you for a reason, because you were built to carry it. The struggle isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're in motion. Mountains look massive only when you stare at your feet. But when you lift your head and focus on the peak, the climb feels smaller. Your perspective determines your endurance. There's a reason every great leader, artist, and innovator talks about vision, because they understood that the external world will always test the internal one. They faced rejection, doubt, and delay, but they kept seeing what others couldn't. Vision gives you the courage to start, but also the endurance to continue. It turns obstacles into opportunities and problems into preparation. When life shuts one door, vision reminds you there's another one waiting. You begin to operate with faith, not fear, because vision lets you see beyond the storm, even when everything around you says, "Give up." Your inner picture whispers, "Keep going." One of the most dangerous things that can happen in life is to let your current reality define your future potential. Circumstances are loud, bills, deadlines, disappointments, opinions. They scream for your attention. But if you let them drown out your vision, you start living reactively instead of intentionally. That's how dreams die quietly. Not because they were impossible, but because they were forgotten. You must protect your vision like it's sacred, because it is. It's the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Feed it daily. Remind yourself why it matters. Every time you revisit that vision, you're giving yourself a reason to rise again. And remember, your vision isn't just about you. It's about who you're becoming through it. The journey toward that dream is shaping your patience, your discipline, your courage. The person you become while chasing your vision is far more valuable than the destination itself. When you hold a big vision, you start moving differently. You stop seeking validation, you stop comparing your pace, and you start focusing on alignment. Because when your vision is bigger than your circumstances, setbacks stop being threats. They become reminders that you're still in the game, still moving forward, still growing into the person your dream requires you to be. And when you look back, after all the struggle, the sweat, the sleepless nights, you'll realize something powerful. It was never about staying motivated every day. It was about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to be, the kind of person who moves with purpose even in silence, who keeps walking even in darkness, who keeps believing even when no one else does. Motivation isn't a spark that appears from nowhere. It's a fire you build, one decision at a time, one act of courage at a time. So when life feels heavy, when doubt creeps in, when progress seems invisible, remember your why. Stand on it. Feed your mind with strength. Protect your energy and never confuse perfection with growth. Let your pain mold you, not break you. Let your vision guide you, not blind you. Because the secret to staying motivated is not in chasing constant excitement, it's in cultivating unshakable purpose. Every challenge, every failure, every lonely step, they are not signs that you're losing, they're signs that you're becoming. You are being refined, not rejected, strengthened, not stopped. The fire inside you is meant to outlast every storm around you. So keep showing up, keep moving, keep building even when no one's watching. Because one day the world will see what you were fighting for all along, and they'll call it success. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't success that made you unstoppable. It was your decision to stay the course when everything in you wanted to quit. That's the secret to staying motivated. Not waiting for the light, but learning to shine from within.